In this video, I want to show you how to find primary source materials for your topic. Pri primary sources are original materials created during the time period of the historic event that you're researching. Here's some examples of primary source materials. To find primary source materials, one good place is to find them referenced in your secondary source readings. So as you're reading ebooks and scholarly articles, you will often find primary source materials cited. You can track those down, and that's an excellent way to find relevant primary source materials. For example, in the Women in Education in England example I was researching, I saw a reference to Chaucer and the Canterbury Tales. So, for instance, say the Wife of Bath's Tale might be a pertinent primary source for women and girls' education in England at the time. Another good way to find primary source materials is to use some certain words in conjunction with your search topic. These terms, which are in your PowerPoint presentation, are excellent terms to find targeted examples of primary sources. For example, if I use my same search that I've been doing, women, education in early modern Europe, and I just put the word and sources and the word sources with it. Sources is a keyword that can draw up many times primary source documents. Also the word documents, but sources is the first one I would use. I get many results, but remember, in this time of distance learning, I'm going to limit my results to ebooks here. And you can see that I've got some of the same results I got earlier, but this probably has some primary sources in it. This one certainly is primary source. It's Women of Letters. It's about the private letters written by women, and that would be definitely a primary source. This particular one, Reading the Middle Ages, Sources from Europe, Byzantium, and the Islamic World, is primary source material. So here's another example, a detailed study of an individual single woman in early modern Europe. It is taking one person's, that is an in-depth analysis of a primary source. So using the word sources or some of the other terms that I've given you in your PowerPoint are good ways to find primary source materials. Another way is to find an individual associated with your historic event or your historic time period. If you can find a person that's associated with your topic and search that person as an author, that's an excellent way of finding primary source materials as well. So for example, if I go to the advanced search, I'm able to select, rather than searching everything as keyword, I can search as an author, say Queen Elizabeth I. And now I will find things not just about Queen Elizabeth, but this will limit to things written by her. Quite a few results, as you see, but again, I'm going to limit my results to ebooks here. And that'll take it down, but you can see I have letters of Queen Elizabeth and King James VI of Scotland, documents, this government document written by or during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. There's the author. Reasons for the War Against Spain, written by Queen Elizabeth at House of Commons from that time period. So that's another way, is to find an important individual and search that person as an author. Another way to find primary source documents is through a database of primary source documents. So on the library's homepage, there is a link here and here, goes to the same place, Research Help. And these are research guides by subject. If I go to the History Guide, to the Journals and Articles tab, there is a whole list of primary source databases. This is a selected list. We have others, but these are ones specifically of interest in history. For your topic or your time period of early modern Europe, I would suggest these two databases. Making of the Modern World, which is primary source documents from 1450 to 1914, and Eurodocs. So we'll take a look at both of those. Making of the Modern World, it's all full text, all primary source. So again, I can put in my search terms. I'll put women or girls. I want either term. Education or literacy, either term. I'm just broadening the search there, and I'll put England. It's done a keyword search for all of those terms. You can see, it's searching the full text, so I'll get a lot of hits, but you can see I got 11,000 hits. However, if I look at the dates, I can see that many of these are not going to be in my time period. So I'm going to just leave my basic search strategy there, but I will limit it by publication date. I want materials, since I'm looking for primary sources, published before 1790. So before January 1st of 1790, and apply. And you can pick different dates. But now I still have over 2,000 results. So if I select this one from 1705 and counted the methods by charity schools, that's already given me another keyword or another aspect of my topic. I can see charity schools in England is a thing that I could search. You can see this is just scans of an original document. The keywords from my search are highlighted, help make it easy for you to find. The relevant pages are highlighted as well. I can see that which words are highlighted on which page. Girls learning to read and to knit their stockings and gloves. I'm also getting from this primary source some insight into education of girls in England at that time, what that involves. So that is Making of the Modern World. Another database, let me go back to my history guide, journals, is Eurodocs. Eurodocs is an open source platform sponsored by a professor at Brigham Young University, which he compiles primary source documents freely available on the internet by country for all of Europe. And he has some by time period as well. If I go to the United Kingdom, he's broken it down into different time periods. I can select my time period, and I can select it Middle Ages to 1485. I want to go a little later than that. Different reign. Maybe I want to go with the reign of Henry VIII. And they're just all kinds of primary source documents. All of these are freely available. And he has just compiled these. Luther, this would be, if you were interested in the religious aspect. So that is just loading the document. All of these are free. He's made these are freely available on the internet. So to recap about the primary sources, try to find one in your secondary source reading first, because that will be very targeted. When you're doing your searching, look for these types of materials and use these search terms. If you can find an individual, search that person as an author. And finally, you can use the list of primary source databases on the history research guide, and these are some of the ones that I've suggested for this course.